race it again, break it.
You got a bunch of side-by-sides too.
Yeah.
How much you pay for it? It should be better than that.
Here's some big shocks right here. This is going to be 4-wheel drive. It almost felt like their heads were like sticking out of the cage. What's up, guys? We're over here in, where are we? Hesperia?
Hesperia.
This is Hesperia. I thought there was another name for this. The hills. The hills.
Hesperia.
Hillsperia. What's up, guys? We got Steve here, legendary freaking corpse grinder driver. Who named it that?
I did.
That's hard as hell, dude. I love that. And we got Andrew here, absolute shred fabricator over here. This guy actually rips. These guys are great dudes. I've been trying to get up here for a long time. Andrew and I have played tag in the DMs for a couple years, trying to make this happen, and we are finally here, guys. This is a really special place, super cool. If you guys know these guys, you're cool, and if you don't, well, then you just don't know what's up. These guys are true, like 1400, 1450, like grassroots dudes. Like these guys, I don't know, helped like create a lot of the OG scene, man. I would have to say, man, you know, since Steve's been racing, like, when did you start racing?
2003, 4, something.
2003, 2004, and he didn't just start racing, but he was absolutely ripping. And for those of you that were around back then at the desert looking at some of those trucks, you guys definitely remember Steve's truck. So we're gonna take a quick little tour at Inhouse Prerunners up here in Hesperia, and we're gonna check out some really cool projects they're working on. First up, episode 1, we're gonna check out an F-150. F-150?
F-150.
All right, boys. How did you guys get started?
Well,
Was it just, did you start it, Steve or Andrew? Or?
Well, I used to work on his stuff when I worked at C&D Fabworks. Went and worked for Rob at RJ Fab for a while, and then he approached me about starting something over here, so we just kind of went for it. I'm kind of his personal fabricator, and you know, yeah.
Right on, heck yeah. So C&D Fabworks, did you work there, Steve?
No.
No, you didn't?
I
Okay.
kind of helped fund that place.
Shut up and take my money.
Oh, okay.
I worked there, drank a lot of beer there.
Got it.
Yeah, just hung out. That's where I met Andrew.
Yeah.
Yeah, those guys built all my trucks, and Andrew was a co-driver at some point, and this is really more of like a passion project. When Andrew was talking to me, like, we should do something, we should build some trucks, and I have a shop, he has the tools, the knowledge, so like, let's go for it, let's see what can happen. And it's been like maybe going on 5 years now?
Yeah, something like that.
Something like that.
Yeah, 4 to 5 years.
Mm-hmm.
Heck yeah. And you guys have put out some pretty cool trucks, man. And I would say it seems like OBS, kind of like beam trucks are kind of your bread and butter. Is that?
Yeah, seems like that's what ends up here most of the time.
Yeah, that's kind of what we've.
Yeah.
That's what we've been doing for so long. It's what we like. It's what we enjoy. So
yeah.
Other people that like that seem to gravitate towards us and ask us to build those type of things.
Right on, right on. So C&D Fabworks, for those of you that remember, they had this epic Red Ranger, right?
Yeah, there was a Red Ranger there.
Red Rangers.
Yeah, there was a couple Red Rangers.
I remember one specifically.
The C&D Fabworks.
Yeah, with the C&D. I remember that was like the flagship vehicle, right? That was like the one that a lot of people knew.
I don't know where it's at now. Minnesota or something?
Somewhere Midwest.
No way, really? So it's still active?
Like a year or two ago it was, but in the Midwest, so it's probably, might be sitting in a shop.
I'm curious, so our Midwest friends, if you guys know this truck, know where it's at. I'm planning on going to the Midwest soon, actually. Maybe I could track it down. Did you get to work on that truck, Andrew?
No, that was even before I worked there.
Okay.
I started shortly after Chris sold that.
Did you work on Steve's truck?
Oh yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, when Steve got the grind.
He's like, oh yeah, I had to fix a bunch of crap. I keep hearing trucks. So you had a couple trucks.
Yeah.
It's
Embarrassing to say.
Let's hear it, dude. What did you have, man?
Well, I guess it started out probably, I think my first truck when I was 15 was a Ranger with some AutoFab beams,
Yes.
some Fever springs, some inky gold center wheels, 33s, 6 Ranchos in the back, 6 up front, AutoFab hoops.
6?
Yeah, 3 and 3 on each side.
Fuck.
Yeah,
Dude.
and then from there just kept buying more shit and upgrading until eventually ended up with the grinder and raced it and cut it apart. There went to a Ranger.
Well, that first truck, what was your goal for the setup? Like you were like, man, I'm gonna be able to drive fill in the blank here fast. Like where did you want to drive that thing?
Just in the desert, just top of the hoops.
Yeah.
Just go
Did you
for
pick
it.
up your girlfriend and go to In-N-Out and hang out or what?
No, didn't you have to drive it on the street too much? It was
Okay.
just- it was always torn down because when you're racing it, you race, you break shit. If you didn't break it, it was about to break. And then there's only 7 weeks until the next race, so you have to tear it down to
Yeah.
practically nothing, rebuild it, race it again, break it, repeat. So yeah, that truck didn't see a whole lot of street driving.
And seeing you drive that thing, seeing it go down Bear Valley here and being like, oh shit, what truck is that? When it was blue and white. I guess it could have been Danny when he owned it, but
That's awesome.
that was like one of the first real Prerunners I saw running around. I didn't even know him at the time.
Back then, right? And I could say back then, when you seen a truck
Yeah.
that was built, right? And it had, a fuel cell in the back, and it had just everything you would expect to be on a racetrack, right? It was a real special thing. Like it's almost like flagging the dude down, like, yo, what's up? Like, that's a cool truck. Where's it from? Because it was such a small. I think like the pre-runner community is still fairly small. It's a niche for sure. But back then it was so core.
Yeah,
It was so core where almost everybody knew each other, and when there was a new truck or a new truck in your city or somebody picked one up, it was like everybody wanted to know it. So anyways, so the Ranger, and then what happened after that?
From there, moved into Pro Light, had a little Nissan for a while, went back in the desert, raced Class 1, Class 10,
Oh, shoot.
5 car, never raced in the 5 car, but now just hanging out with Prerunners, it's a lot easier.
He had a bunch of side-by-sides too.
Yeah.
He had a bunch of side-by-sides too.
Shut up! Shut up!
She wants to edit it out. No, man, side-by-sides are cool, Heck yeah, man. Yeah, right? I mean, out here where these boys live, like, dude, I'm sure there's just tons of trails being begged to go rip around. So
Oh, we used to rip all this stuff in Rhinos back in the day.
Rhinos, dang.
Rhinos, and then the first gen Razors. And
Let's cut to some Rhino clips. You guys could see what rhinos are all about. It almost felt like their heads were like sticking out of the cage, I think what you guys got going on is really cool. It's very core. And I was talking to the boys before this. It's like they're pretty selective with the projects they take on, and it's a shop where they like to work on only a couple things at a time, and that's super appreciated. That's really cool. So it's cool to see, some of the stuff they have in here right now, but before you know it, it'll be out of here. Let's hop into this thing.
Mike Jenkins owns this. Brought it to us kind of like everything, where it was only going to be leaf spring, simple coilover up front, keep the bed, all that stuff, and then
I know that
a
story.
little bit of us kind of talking him into different things, and then him, changing his mind and stuff too, snowballed into this.
Tell us about this thing. What's on the front, man?
This is Ocho Fab beams. It's his big old badass beams with the cross member and everything, and big spindles.
And this is all like Ocho makes this whole.
Yeah, everything. The whole
okay.
cross member with all the swing steer, radius arms, spindles.
Yeah.
The engine cage or shock hoop structure, if you want to call it, is Michael Cox. I don't know if he's still doing them or not, but he did a handful of them, and pretty cool looking. And then same with the trailing arms. Trailing arms are Ocho Fab as well.
So, dude, these are some
There's some big shocks right
Yeah,
here.
shocks are huge.
What are these? Are these 4.5s?
Yeah, 3.0 coilover, 4.5 bypass.
Dang, man. So this is pretty much trophy truck setup
Oh, yeah.
here.
Yeah.
So 3.0 coilover and a 4.5 bypass. What is this, 18 or?
Yeah, I believe it's a 16, 18,
16.
or maybe 14, 16. I
Dang,
don't
it
quite
looks
remember. I
huge.
think it's 18, just looking at how huge it looks. But
Yeah, just for perspective, you guys
Yeah.
can see it's like
Ford motor, I don't know a lot about the motor. Do you know much about it?
No, it's a Ford Motorsports block.
Okay.
Typical catalog style Ford racing motor. We're not sure what it is until it gets fired up.
Right on.
At that point.
right on. So what did you guys? I mean, you guys built all of this in here?
Pretty much everything. This is Michael Cox's engine cage, like Andrew was saying. That's what it started off as, because this truck was going to be a simple, just a hoop, maybe some shocks coming through the bed, no cage, spare tire mount, jack mount, and it morphed into chose beams, bigger shocks,
Yeah.
cage, cut out the floors, cut out the firewalls.
Gee, just snowballed into an
Yeah,
avalanche.
we did.
Dude, look at these spindles. This is cool. So this is great, man. What hubs is he running?
Those are Cho's hubs. I believe Sandy Cone makes them for him.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it's Cho's hub that comes with this whole setup.
Right on, right on.
Big, I think, what, 2.5 inch snouts, I would assume.
Jeez, man. Hell yeah. So this is always the hard part, the firewall. I mean, I would think, it seems like that's like one of the big pieces that a lot of people kind of bite off and don't realize how important it is and how long it takes. I'm talking to myself.
Yeah.
It's me. I'm the problem, right?
It goes pretty quick when you're just shearing out sheet metal, but then when you start welding and you got all that silicon bronze to do, it's pretty time consuming.
Yeah, I would imagine, dude. This is wild. I mean, it looks really cool. The form of everything, though, it looks like you guys are trying to maximize as much space as you can.
Yeah, I wanted to keep a lot of room in the trans-tonal area,
Heck yeah.
so you weren't fighting everything when you're working on it. Plus, this motor's offset to one side. All these four-wheel drive beam trucks are like that.
Oh, really?
So I think to make room for transfer case and the pumpkin swinging up at full bump and everything.
That's so cool that that this is gonna be 4-wheel drive. And I mean, do you guys know like the travel specs on the front of this?
I think it's
26 on the driver's side.
I think it's like around 18 inches or
Yeah,
something
once
like that.
we have axles and measure that out, that's going to be the limiting factor there.
That's when you'll know.
Yeah, right now the steering, it's going to swing about 17. This truck was originally two-wheel drive. So,
Two-wheel drive frame rail.
Yeah, a lot of people seem to be, not a lot, but it seems a little more common that people are trying to go 4-wheel drive beams now.
Yeah, it's pretty popular right now.
Does that change everything up? Did you guys have to like graph a new?
No, the previous
Yeah.
owner.
just cost more.
I think the previous owner. No, that was it was a long bed. He shortened it to a
Yeah,
short
it
bed.
did shorten it to a short bed, but it was also
It was Eric Hampton's truck before. I'm sure he'll want a shout out.
Right.
So, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely don't go follow him on Instagram.
You guys want to hop into the back of this thing?
Yeah. The rear is like I was saying, Ocho Fab trailing arms. The rear whole section right here is Camberg or Kinetic. I'm not sure what they go by. It's their whole trophy truck, fuel cell, spare tire carrier, back half section that you can buy.
Wow. So it comes like.
Yeah, from basically the tubing structure from the bump stops back, you buy the whole thing already. This one was already welded and everything.
Oh, nice, man.
I want to say, what's the fuel cell? Over 90 gallons,
Yeah,
right?
close to 100.
Close to 100 gallons.
Jeez.
Pretty cool. You just kind of square it up and
90 gallons,
connect the
dude.
dots.
These. Wow.
Yeah, big fuel cell.
Do you guys roughly know how much these cells are? Like.
I think it's around 15,
So much money.
1,500, 2 grand, something.
Oh, for just the fuel cell?
No, it's
Wait,
like
right.
15 grand.
Yeah. Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like I think that whole back.
I think, from what he told us, I think he paid about 15. I'm not
For
sure.
the entire back half,
Yeah, the
including
whole-
the fuel cell.
Including
Yeah,
the fuel
with
cell.
the-
So he
fuel
bought it as a
cell.
whole.
Right.
Yeah, he bought. Yeah, you can't. Yeah, like I said, this whole thing with the fuel cell already loaded in it.
The custom cell is
Yeah.
probably going to cost that
Probably
much
more
or
than that.
more.
Yeah, probably
So-
more. And yeah, it has the sway bar location already ready to rock.
Yeah, well, that's awesome. I mean, that only makes it easier for you guys to handle.
Yeah, as a fabricator, it's kind of cool because you just got to square it up and kind of connect the dots.
Heck yeah. And then what rear end is in this thing?
Camber rear end seems to be pretty much what we put in everything nowadays, and
Okay. Nice.
I think this is their bigger
And this the 4-inch house?
Yeah, 4-inch with the 4-inch axle tubes. They're big housing.
Wow. Okay. Dang, dude, this thing looks amazing.
Then we got the Cookcraft mufflers. These are new. Just got these put. Actually, just got the whole exhaust done. This is the only part that's bolted up right now, but these things are pretty cool.
I didn't know Ryan did this.
Yeah, I think these are fairly new, but
that is awesome.
Really nice looking.
Hit up Cookcraft, you guys. He does some really great stuff.
Basics, you know, two trans fans,
Here, I'll hop
two trans
over.
coolers, 1 engine oil cooler. Yeah, that's all that's back here.
Yeah.
So everything's pretty much
Super clean.
Yeah, I try to keep it real simple, and we might redo a little bit of the aluminum work to kind of flow into the mufflers. I'm not really sure yet.
So you guys did all this aluminum work?
Yeah, I did all the aluminum work. And,
Okay.
Yeah.
I mean, I think, you know, the structure is there. It's amazing. But I mean, like, I think like the details and the aluminum work that you guys do is freaking awesome, man. I love it. It looks so damn good. And I feel like that really takes a truck to another level.
Yeah, I agree. It's probably my favorite thing to do as a fabricator. One of the most gratifying things to do as a fabricator.
I mean, it's so sleek, dude. Like the way this all flows, like it looks sick, man. I'm sure you guys all at home right now could appreciate this. I wish I knew how to do anything with metal whatsoever. But I know that it takes a lot of work, dude, and for it to come out like this just looks phenomenal, dude. Absolutely crushed it. Hell yeah. Heck yeah. So there's a lot of work in here.
Yeah, we cut out quite a bit of the floor. Just over the last month or so, just kind of plated it all back in.
Okay.
Welded most of it, seam sealed a lot of it. It's the 3-seaters, got room for 3 full-size seats.
Nice.
And Mike, the owner, he's a big tall guy, so a bunch of leg room.
Super
This
solid.
is McNeil or Fiberworks dash. I'm not sure exactly.
So you guys built this cage, or was
We
this?
built the cage. Cage was the first thing we did.
Okay.
It was going to be. I think it was going to be caged regardless of the build. You know, just for safety and longevity of the truck.
Of course, yeah, the structure kind of keeping everything.
holding everything together.
A lot of people don't understand that, like, you know, when your truck is moving,
Yeah.
if you don't have a cage, your truck is flexing here and there.
It just falls apart. It'll rip the stock sheet metal will get all ripped up, and I know from experience. I think every pre-runner kid knows from experience.
Yeah. So you guys hear that? Like the cage obviously like structurally supports the entirety of the truck, keeps everything sound and together. So
Yeah, if you're a young guy building a pre-runner, a cage is the first thing you should build. Not
sure.
just for safety, but it will keep your truck from falling apart.
Nice dash. That's ready to go.
I think this is Camberg or Kibitech.
As far as
The
the hoon handle, I believe that's a camber.
Camberg hoon handle, and got the basic shifter. That's
Yeah.
the same one that goes in every truck.
Well, right on, man.
Adjustable steering. That I wish was a little bit tighter. Not that happy with that. Like for how much you pay for it, it should be better than that. But
Those man welders visors.
oh, yeah, the Cartex and visors. These are all welded up by a local guy, Manuel, who welds. Almost everything you see that's welded at Cartech comes from him, and
Is his name Manuel?
his name is Manuel, but he goes by Manuelder.
I love that, bro.
He's welds for everybody. Welds for Robbie Gordon. Just welds for everybody.
That's perfect. They
He's an awesome guy.
he was born for welding. Men weld. Man welder. That's awesome, man. Well, dude, this thing looks amazing. Okay, what are the next steps for this thing, so you guys?
I think we're moving on to front fiberglass, kind of the whole front clip. So mounting the radiator, bumper, just getting everything done up here. I think he's waiting for McNeil's new front one piece. He might go with that. Right now it has the same thing like the Eisenhower brothers have for theirs.
Does that? Oh yeah. So
a little big. So I think
Okay.
maybe he might go down to the slightly smaller McNeil one. Not really sure, but that's definitely the next phase for it. We got the radiator, got a bunch more parts. So he'll have a stock bumper modified, kind of like what a lot of guys do on these square trucks.
like try to make it look as like factory as possible with those bumpers and the
truck
fronts.
that has
Old school Robbie.
the old Robbie's old pre-runner. I can't think of what that truck's called. Squishy, like kind of like that style bumper, the chrome
Okay.
factory bumper, like this one right here on this truck, kind of similar.
Right on.
But yeah, that's next, and then after that, it's down to all the tedious stuff that takes forever. That I'm sure you know all about: the plumbing, the wiring, and
I'm crying.
just all just all that stuff. That
You know,
eats up tons of hours.
you think that is gonna be fast. You're like, oh yeah, I'm only a year away now. You know what I mean? But honestly, like It is what it is, man. What's that saying? Like trophy truck dreams.
Dreams are free. Man.
You know, it takes time, man. It takes time. It takes money. It takes dedication, and these things don't happen overnight, man. So hang in there, fellas. Well, this thing is amazing, guys. I'm super stoked for you guys. Can't wait to see this thing done. When it's done, please let us know. We'd love to, you know, maybe go get a test session of this thing. Maybe get it completely done. Go hang with you guys.
Yeah, I think he plans on doing some Mexico trips with his family. That's, you know, why they made it a 3-seater. And
Heck yeah.
The whole reason for the 4-wheel drive.
4-wheel drive.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Talking about mounting a winch, if we can fit it in there.
Yeah. You know what Morgan did with mine is I think we did like a removable, like almost like a place where the hitch can slide into.
Yeah.
So it's like he has it mounted back. He's ready to go.
Right. Yeah, we might just do something like that. I'm not sure.
Super Wench. Let us know, man. I'll talk to those guys. Yeah. I'm sure they'd be stoked to be part of this project.
Yeah, it'd be cool.
Well, hell yeah, guys. Thank you guys so much, man. Did we even say the year, make, and model? We always, I mean...
Possibly a 94?
94.
Is it 94, 95, 96?
It's a 92 through 96. Extra cab F-150 4-wheel drive, but I don't know exactly what year it is.
And I'm sure the Ford purist will be stoked. There's a Ford in this thing.
It is a 94. If Steve is correct.
It is a 94. There it is, fellas. Well, guys, there you have it. First episode of In-House Prerunners. Hope you guys enjoyed that. We got a couple more to film. Stay tuned for upcoming episodes. Thank you guys so much for checking out this episode. Super stoked on this thing. This thing is awesome. Maybe we can even get it at one of the pre-runner buildings at maybe one of the upcoming expos. I don't know. You know, maybe just on display, kind of hanging out. If you guys ever want to do that, you guys let us know. We'd be super stoked.
Yeah, we've been
What do you guys think? I think so. Yeah, people would be stoked, I'm sure. So yeah, guys, if you guys have any questions, put it in the comments. We'll do our best to answer. Yeah, In-House Prerunners, episode 1. Thanks for watching. We'll see you guys.